20 hours in to the 54th edition of the ADAC Ravenol 24 hours of the Nürburgring, when at 3 o'clock yesterday, 49 cars in Startgruppe 1 worked their way through, and not without contact, notably between the two Red Bull-backed cars, the Lamborghini and the Mercedes, getting together, and also a much too eager start for Marco Mappelli in the Lamborghini that started on the left-hand side of the front row. 3 into 1 not going on the exit of the Goodyear Kera, and the car most delayed there was Dan Harper in the Rover Racing BMW. Quite a lot of negotiation required for different speeds of cars at the Caracciolo carousel. The SP9's taking to the drainage ditch, but if you were at the back end of start Group 3, you needed to be well aware that there were SP9s coming through, and at some cases 5, 6, 7 line astern very early on in the race. 2 wheels off the ground for Max Verstappen, nearly put him in the fence during his opening stint when the car was very full of fuel. Great to have the insight recently from Philip Ellis, another AMG driver, to say when the cars are full of fuel and that tank at the back of the car can actually lift the front of these Mercedes. Something to watch for later on in the race for sure. A very violent off for the 75 Max Cruiser Racing Audi R8 LMS at Schwedenkreuz, one of the runners in the alternatively fueled class. And sadly, the early demise of the 45 Realize Kondo Racing Ferrari when Thierry Vermeulen caught the wrong side of a Porsche Cayman in the hats and back. That speared him eventually left, ripping the front of that Ferrari to smithereens, and it eventually came to rest on the right-hand side. Also, Alexander Sims coming out of a Code 60, tagging the back of the KCMG Mercedes, and that would ruin the Scherer Sport PHX entry for 2026. Bonnet rippled back across the windscreen. One of the real fan favourite cars this year has been the M3 Touring 24H car, and it, during the halfway house conditions, slithering and sliding its way around, but a 4-time Formula 1 world champion seems to have got to grips with them very quickly indeed, with a roof again over his head and the need for the windscreen wipers, something he won't be used to from single-seater racing. Kevin Estre and the Grello car sadly didn't last long at all after it caught some oil that had been laid down by, ironically enough, another Porsche from one of the middle category cars. And maybe the wet track surface contributed to that as well, but the money end of that car, where the flat 6 fits, it was also destroyed. It will have wrecked the mountings of the gearbox and the engine bay. And not long afterwards, on the same oil patch, Arjun Maini, the talented Indian racer for Haupt Racing Team and their Ford Mustang project, piling into the Brunchen barrier as well. Jules Gounon in one of the Mercedes, together with Connor De Filippi, were side by side at Schwedenkreuz. Gounon having to get off the throttle because of a backmarking BMW that semi-blocked his way. The BMW driver was doing nothing wrong as Connor De Filippi swept around the outside, and around the very next corner he would pick off the 80 Ravenol back Mercedes as well. 2 Mercs in the space of about 5 corners. 34 Valkenhorst Motorsport Aston Martin still going very nicely indeed, but however, BMW getting caught a cropper by one of the older Z4s. That was Raffaele Marciello in the current GT3 car, the M4, and then Maurice Schuring up against the other BMW Z4 on the Dunlop tyres. Schuring going through a full rotation. This was a huge hit for Alessio Picariello in the 17 Dunlop shod Porsche as well. 2 very different Porsches being run out of the same awning, if you like, at Schnabel Engineering. One the Falcon car, one the Dunlop car, which is new for 2026, but sadly that car now out of the race. And then fun and games down at Arenberg at about the point where the sun was spectacularly setting yesterday evening. And still they came thundering their way down the hill and into the stones, bringing lots of gravel out onto the racetrack and causing a problem for some of the front runners, as around the outside of the Gorian RT car went the number 80 machine. Jens Klingmann in the M3 touring car would also go off-road, rally driving. Yes, it's an estate car, maybe used to campsites. Well, Klingman almost found the campsite not far from Arenberg. This was a tyre failure for the 37 Aston Martin, dramatically spearing it to the left at pretty much full throttle. The Dumoulin prepared and in fact driven car, the number 37, which will take no further part. And at the end of the Grand Prix track, the 99 Rover Racing BMW was also slightly onto the grass, but it was neatly recovered. And the 99 car actually runs in 4th position as we speak, as Max Verstappen got back on board the number 3 Mercedes to do a double stint. That was the RPM Racing car with Tracy Crone at the wheel, meaning that Max had to get off the throttle. And Dennis Olsen underneath the rear wing of the Mattia Drudi Aston Martin, that aero wash lifting the front wheels entirely off the ground of the Ford Mustang.